She thought a simple fender bender would cost her a few $100s in repairs. She never imagined it would cost her everything she'd built to protect her son. When Maya's car kissed the bumper of a stranger's vintage coupe, she had no idea she was about to collide with one of the city's most powerful men, or that he harbored a devastating secret that made even the gentlest touch feel like betrayal. But what started as an accident in a grocery store parking lot would soon become a battle between two worlds, where a single mother's quiet life meets a billionaire's carefully controlled existence, and where one leaked photograph could destroy the fragile family she spent years trying to build. Some crashes leave scars that never heal, but others might just save the people brave enough to let love do the driving. If you're watching this story unfold, hit that subscribe button and tell me which city you're calling home tonight, because this tale of unexpected love is about to get a whole lot more complicated. The parking lot buzzed with Saturday morning shoppers. Maya Ellis pulled her worn sedan into a spot near the grocery store entrance. She glanced back at her 5-year-old son Noah, who was already unbuckling his booster seat. "Hold on, baby. Let me get the cart first," she said, stepping out into the warm spring air. Maya had learned to move quickly on weekends. Every minute counted when you were a single mom working full-time at the hospital. She grabbed a shopping cart and wheeled it back to her car. "Mama, can we get dinosaur nuggets?" Noah asked, sliding out of his seat. "We'll see," Maya replied, the same answer she gave for most of his requests. Her budget was tight, but she tried to say yes when she could. She was buckling Noah back into his booster when it happened. A runaway shopping cart rolled down the slight slope of the parking lot. Maya saw it coming and quickly stepped on her brake, but she was already moving backward. Her sedan bumped into something solid with a soft thud. Maya's heart dropped. Oh no. She put the car in park and looked in her rearview mirror. Behind her sat a beautiful classic car, cream-colored with chrome that gleamed in the sunlight. And standing next to it was a tall white man in dark jeans and a gray button-down shirt. "Mama, what happened?" Noah asked. "Just a little bump, sweetie. Stay in your seat for me, okay?" Maya got out of her car, her hands already shaking. Car repairs meant money she didn't have. The man was walking around his car, looking at the damage. "I'm so sorry," she called out as she approached him. "I saw the cart coming and—" "It's okay," he said, looking up at her. He had kind eyes and brown hair that looked like he'd run his fingers through it. "These things happen." Maya looked at the cars. Her plastic bumper had a small crack, but his car only had a tiny scratch on the chrome bumper. Still, she knew classic cars cost a fortune to fix. "I have insurance," she said quickly. "I'll give you all my information." The man nodded. "Let me just check." "Mama!" Noah's voice cut through the air. Maya turned to see her son climbing out of the car. His dinosaur backpack caught on the door handle, and he stumbled forward toward the pavement. Without thinking, the man stepped forward and caught Noah before he could fall. His hands, she noticed he wasn't wearing gloves. Even though the morning was cool, steadied Noah gently but firmly. For a moment, all three of them froze. The man's face went pale. His hands trembled slightly as he held Noah's shoulders, but he didn't let go until Noah was steady on his feet. "Whoa there," the man said softly. "You okay, buddy?" Noah looked up at him with wide eyes. "I'm okay, thank you, mister." The man released him carefully and took a small step back. Maya noticed his hands were shaking now. "Thank you," Maya said, rushing to Noah's side. "That could have been bad." "No problem," the man replied, but his voice sounded different now, quieter. He was staring at his own hands like they belonged to someone else. Noah looked around the ground. "Where's Rex?" "Rex?" the man asked. "My dinosaur," Noah said sadly. "He fell out of my backpack." They all looked around. Maya spotted the small plush T-Rex under the classic car. "I've got it," the man said. He knelt down and retrieved the toy, dusting it off before handing it to Noah. "Here you go." "Thank you." Noah hugged the dinosaur tight. "Rex says thank you too." The man smiled, and for a moment, the pale look left his face. "Tell Rex he's welcome." Maya pulled out her phone. "We should exchange information. For the insurance." "Right." The man seemed to shake himself back to the present. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet. "I'm Evan Hart." Maya took his insurance card and gave him hers. As they stood there copying down numbers, Noah played with his dinosaur nearby. "Your son is cute," Evan said, watching Noah make the T-Rex walk along the bumper of Maya's car. "Thank you. He's obsessed with dinosaurs right now." "Smart kid. Dinosaurs are fascinating." Maya looked at Evan more closely. He seemed nice enough, but there was something careful about the way he held himself, like he was ready to step back at any moment. "I really am sorry about your car," she said. "It's beautiful." "Thanks, it was my dad's." Evan slipped his insurance information back into his wallet. "Don't worry about the scratch, it's barely visible. Still, I want to do the right thing." A tow truck pulled into the parking lot, and the driver waved at Evan. "That's for me," Evan said. "I called while we were exchanging information. Just being cautious." The driver walked over and looked at both cars. "This the damage?" he asked, pointing at the tiny scratch. "Yeah," Evan said. "Car's fine to drive. You sure you want me to tow it?" Evan looked at his car, then at Maya. "Actually, you're right. It's fine." The driver shrugged and walked back to his truck. "Well," Maya said, "I guess we're all set then." "Looks like it." Evan watched as she walked Noah back to their car. "Bye, mister," Noah called, waving from his booster seat. Evan waved back. "Bye, Noah. Take care of Rex." Maya got into her car and started the engine. As she backed out carefully, she saw Evan in her rear-view mirror. He was standing next to his car, looking down at his hands. He flexed his fingers slowly, like he was testing them. It was strange. But then again, car accidents made everyone act a little weird. She drove away, and Evan watched until her car disappeared around the corner. The next day, Maya was finishing her lunch break when she saw him again. She worked at the front desk in the hospital's scheduling department. It wasn't her dream job, but it paid the bills and gave her good insurance for Noah. She was just settling back into her chair when she noticed a familiar figure walking through the main lobby. Evan Hart was walking toward her desk, carrying something small in his hand. "Excuse me," he said when he reached her. "I think this belongs to your son." He held out Noah's plush dinosaur, Rex. "Oh my goodness," Maya said, standing up. "Where did you find him?" "Under my passenger seat. Must have fallen when your son got out of his backpack yesterday." Maya took the dinosaur, noticing again that Evan's hands were bare. No gloves, no rings. His fingers looked like they belonged to someone who worked with computers more than cars. "Thank you so much," she said. Noah was heartbroken when he realized Rex was missing. "I'm glad I could return him." Just then, Noah came running around the corner from the children's play area. Maya's friend Janelle was supposed to be watching him during her lunch break, but he must have seen Evan. "Mister, you found Rex." Noah threw his arms around Evan's legs before Maya could stop him. Evan went very still. Maya saw that pale look cross his face again, but instead of pulling away, he placed one hand carefully on Noah's head. "Hey there, buddy," Evan said quietly. "I found him in my car." Noah looked up at him. "Rex missed me. Thank you for bringing him back." "You're welcome." Maya gently pulled Noah away from Evan's legs. She could see that Evan was struggling with something, though she didn't understand what. "Noah, say thank you, and let Mr. Hart go about his day." "Thank you, Mr. Hart," Noah said, hugging Rex tight. One of the volunteer women at the information desk leaned over to her friend. Maya caught part of what she whispered. "That's Evan Hart. You know, Hart Technologies." Maya's eyes widened. She looked at Evan again, really looked this time. Hart Technologies was one of the biggest employers in their mid-sized city. She'd seen his picture in the local business journal. Evan noticed her expression change. "It's not a big deal," he said quietly. "I had no idea yesterday. I prefer it that way." He glanced around the busy lobby. "Keeps things simple." Maya nodded, though she wasn't sure what to say. She'd just had a fender bender with one of the richest men in the city, and he was acting like it was nothing. "Mama, can I show Mr. Hart my dinosaur book?" Noah asked, pulling a colorful picture book from his backpack. "Mr. Hart probably has important things to do, baby." But Evan knelt down to Noah's level. "What kind of dinosaurs do you like best?" "T-Rex and Triceratops," Noah said, opening his book. "Look, this one has 3 horns." "That's a big Triceratops," Evan agreed. "Did you know they were plant eaters?" "Really? But they look so scary." "The biggest teeth don't always mean the most dangerous. Sometimes the scariest looking animals are actually the gentlest." Maya watched Evan's face soften as he talked to Noah. Whatever was bothering him seemed to fade when he focused on her son. "I like that," Noah said seriously. "Rex looks scary, but he's nice, just like you," Evan said, and Noah giggled. When Evan stood up, that careful look was back on his face. "I should let you get back to work." "Thank you again," Maya said, "for bringing Rex back and for being so kind to Noah. He's a good kid. You're doing something right." As Evan walked toward the exit, Maya called after him. Mr. Hart? He turned back. If you're ever in the neighborhood and want to grab a coffee, there's a nice place across the street. As a thank you. Evan hesitated. I'd like that, but I should tell you something first. What? I don't really. I'm not good with physical contact. Handshakes, hugs, that kind of thing. I know it seems weird. Maya thought about how he'd frozen when Noah hugged him, but how he'd also been gentle with her son. That doesn't seem weird to me, she said. Everyone has things that make them uncomfortable. Most people don't understand. I'm not most people. Evan looked at her for a long moment. The coffee place across the street? Brewed Awakening. They have good pastries too. Would this afternoon work? Around 4? Maya checked the clock. Her shift ended at 3:30. Perfect. I'll see you then. After Evan left, Maya sat back down at her desk. Janelle appeared with Noah, who was clutching Rex like his life depended on it. Girl, was that who I think it was? Janelle asked, taking the chair next to Maya's desk. Evan Hart, Maya confirmed. The Evan Hart. And he was playing with Noah? He returned Noah's dinosaur. It fell in his car yesterday during the accident. Janelle raised an eyebrow. He could have had an assistant return it, or mailed it. Maya hadn't thought of that. I guess. And now you're having coffee with him. As a thank you. He was really kind to Noah. Janelle lowered her voice. Maya, honey, be careful. Rich men like that, they live in a different world. Maya looked out the lobby windows toward the coffee shop. He seemed pretty down to earth to me. I'm just saying, don't get too attached. Men like him don't usually stick around for single moms and dinosaur obsessions. But Maya remembered the way Evan's whole face had changed when he talked to Noah, and the way he'd warned her about his issue with physical contact instead of just avoiding it. Maybe Janelle was right. Maybe she was being naive. But something told her there was more to Evan Hart than the Business Journal headlines. Brewed Awakening was busy for a Sunday afternoon, but not crowded. Maya found Evan at a corner table near the window, staring down at a coffee cup like it held the answers to the universe. He looked up when she approached and stood to pull out her chair. The gesture was old-fashioned and sweet. Thank you, she said, settling into her seat. Can I get you something? Coffee? Tea? Coffee would be great. Black. Evan went to the counter and returned with a large coffee and a chocolate chip cookie. You mentioned you were on break, so I thought you might be hungry. Maya's stomach rumbled in response. She'd skipped lunch to handle Noah's doctor appointment. Thank you. That's very thoughtful. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching people walk by outside the window. Maya noticed Evan kept his hands flat on the table, not fidgeting or drumming his fingers like most people did. Can I ask you something? She said. Sure. Earlier you said you have trouble with physical contact. Is that why you looked so, I don't know, surprised when Noah hugged you? Evan nodded slowly. I haven't been touched by anyone outside my family in about 20 years. Maya set down her coffee cup. 20 years? Car accident when I was 10. My parents. He paused, looking out the window. Let's just say it left me with some issues around being touched. But you caught Noah yesterday, and you didn't pull away when he hugged you today. I know. That's what surprised me too. Evan looked at her. Usually I panic, but with Noah, it felt different. Maya broke off a piece of her cookie, thinking, what makes it different? I'm not sure. Maybe because he needed help? Or because he's small and not threatening? Evan shook his head. I've been to therapists. They all say the same thing. I need to gradually expose myself to touch in safe environments. What feels safe to you? Clarity. Knowing what's coming. Going slow. He looked down at his hands. Your son doesn't give warnings before he hugs people. Maya laughed softly. No, he really doesn't. I'm sorry about that. Don't be. It was. I don't know. Good, maybe. Good, how? Evan was quiet for a moment. I spend a lot of time building walls, making sure people keep their distance. But Noah didn't know about the walls. He just saw someone who helped him and wanted to say thank you. That's Noah. He thinks everyone is a potential friend until they prove otherwise. Smart kid. Maya studied Evan's face. He looked tired, like carrying those walls around was exhausting work. What made you decide to tell me about the touch thing? I didn't want you to think I was being rude if we spent more time together. And, he hesitated, and I wanted to be honest with you. Most people don't get a chance to understand before they judge. Maya felt something warm settle in her chest. I appreciate that. Not many people would have said anything. Most people don't have car accidents with single mothers who invite them for coffee. Are you saying I'm not most people? Evan smiled, and Maya realized it was the first real smile she'd seen from him. Definitely not most people. They talked for another half-hour about simple things. Evan asked about Noah's dinosaur phase and Maya's work at the hospital. Maya asked about his business but didn't push when he kept his answers general. She learned he lived alone in a condo downtown, that his Aunt Grace was the closest thing he had to family, and that he restored classic cars as a hobby. That explains yesterday, Maya said. You know your way around cars. My dad taught me before he died. Working with machines is easier than working with people. How so? Machines are predictable. You can understand how they work, fix them when they break. People are. Complicated? Exactly. Maya glanced at the clock on the wall and sighed. I need to get back. My shift ends in an hour, and then I have to pick up Noah from his friend's house. Of course. Evan stood when she did. Thank you for the coffee, and for understanding about, well, everything. Thank you for bringing back Rex, and for being honest with me. As they walked toward the door, Maya's phone buzzed. She pulled it out and saw a text from the auto body shop. Everything okay? Evan asked. The body shop wants to schedule an estimate for my car. I'd honestly forgotten about it. Here. Evan pulled out his phone and scrolled through his contacts. This is the place I use for my cars. Marcus is honest and fair. Tell him I sent you. Maya saved the contact information. You don't have to. I want to help. Yesterday was an accident, but I'd feel better knowing your car gets fixed properly. Maya looked up at him. He was standing closer than he probably felt comfortable with, but he wasn't backing away. Would you like to text me later? She asked. Just to let me know how the rest of your day goes. I'd like that, Evan said. Fair warning, though, I'm not very exciting. Sunday nights usually involve takeout and old movies. Sounds perfect to me. As Maya crossed the street back to the hospital, she could see Evan through the coffee shop window. He was standing at their table, looking down at his hands again. But this time, instead of that distant expression, he looked almost hopeful. Maya's apartment was small but cozy. She'd painted the living room a warm yellow, and Noah's artwork covered most of the refrigerator. Janelle was sitting on the floor helping Noah build a Lego dinosaur habitat while Maya chopped vegetables for dinner. So, tell me about this coffee date, Janelle said, not looking up from the Legos. It wasn't a date, it was a thank you. Uh-huh. And what did you thank him for exactly? Being kind to Noah. Bringing back Rex. I don't know, just being a decent human being. Janelle looked up from the Legos. Maya, honey, I love you, but you need to be realistic about this. Realistic about what? Rich white men don't usually hang around hospital workers and their kids for long. I'm just saying protect your heart. Maya set down her knife. It's not like that, Janelle. What's it like then? I don't know, different. He has some issues with being touched because of a car accident when he was a kid. He could have hidden that from me, but he didn't. He was honest. Mama, what's being touched? Noah asked, looking up from his Legos. It means hugs and handshakes, baby. Some people don't like them. Like Mr. Hart? Maya and Janelle exchanged glances. How did you know that? Maya asked. He got very still when I hugged him, but he didn't push me away like Mrs. Peterson next door does. Mrs. Peterson was their elderly neighbor who didn't like children very much. Mr. Hart is different from Mrs. Peterson, Maya said carefully. I know. He's nice. Noah went back to his Legos. Is he going to come over for dinner? No, sweetie. Mr. Hart is just a friend. Maya's phone buzzed with a text message. Janelle gave her a look that said, I told you so, before Maya even read it. The text was from Evan. Marcus at the body shop is expecting your call tomorrow. I hope the rest of your day is going well. Thank you for the coffee and the conversation. Maya typed back, thank you for the reference. Having a good evening with Noah and my best friend. Hope your takeout and old movies are everything you wanted. Was that him? Janelle asked. He just sent me the contact information for the body shop at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night and thanked me for coffee. Janelle sighed. Maya, I'm not trying to be mean. You know that, right? I know. I just don't want to see you get hurt. Or Noah. That boy gets attached to people fast. Maya looked at her son, who was making dinosaur sound effects as he played. Janelle was right. Noah did get attached quickly, and he'd already mentioned Evan twice since they got home. Her phone buzzed again. Evan, is it okay if I text you during the week? I know you're busy with work and Noah. Maya stared at the message for a moment before typing. I'd like that. Fair warning though, my life isn't very exciting either. Most nights involve homework, bath time, and Disney movies. Evan. Sounds perfect to me. Maya set her phone down and went back to chopping vegetables. What did he say? Janelle asked. He wants to text during the week. And what did you tell him? That he could. Janelle shook her head but didn't say anything else. She helped Noah finish his dinosaur habitat, ate dinner with them, and read Noah his bedtime story. After Noah was asleep, Maya and Janelle sat on the couch with tea. I'm not trying to ruin this for you, Janelle said quietly. I know you're not. I just think you should be careful. Rich men like that, they live in a different world. Their problems aren't our problems. Maybe. But his problem isn't that different from mine. What do you mean? Maya wrapped her hands around her mug. He's scared of being hurt. He builds walls to keep people at a safe distance. That's not exactly foreign to me. Janelle was quiet for a moment. That's true. But Maya, I know. I need to be smart about this. For Noah's sake, if not my own. That's all I'm saying. Just don't jump in with both feet right away. Okay? Since when do I ever jump in with both feet? Janelle laughed. Good point. You're the most cautious person I know when it comes to dating. I have to be. It's not just about me anymore. After Janelle left, Maya tucked Noah back in and then sat on her own bed with her phone. She stared at her text conversation with Evan for a long time before typing, "Thank you for being honest with me today. About the touch thing. Not everyone would have done that." His response came quickly, "Thank you for not making it weird. Most people either want to fix it or they run away." Maya. I'm not most people. Evan. No, you're definitely not. Maya set her phone on her nightstand and turned off the light. As she lay in the dark, she could hear Noah talking to Rex in his sleep, something about friendly dinosaurs and nice misters. Janelle was probably right to be cautious. Maya had Noah to think about, and she'd learned the hard way that not all men were good for children, even when they seemed nice at first. But something about Evan felt different. Maybe it was the way he'd been so careful with Noah, or the way he'd chosen honesty over convenience when he told her about his issue with touch. Or maybe it was simpler than that. Maybe it was the way he'd looked when he said her name, like it was something precious he wanted to hold carefully. Either way, Maya decided, she would take things slow, for Noah's sake and for her own heart. The next morning, Maya was getting ready for work when her phone rang. She didn't recognize the number. Hello? Is this Maya Ellis? The voice was professional but friendly. Yes, this is Marcus from Premier Auto Body. Evan Hart said you might be calling about some damage to your car. Maya glanced at the clock. It was barely 8 in the morning. He said you were expecting my call, but I was going to call later today. No problem. I'm an early riser. Evan asked me to take good care of you, so I wanted to reach out first thing. When can you bring the car in for an estimate? I work until 5 most days, so maybe this weekend? How about I come to you? I can look at it during your lunch break if you work near downtown. At the hospital? Perfect. I'm there at least twice a week for other customers. Say, noon today? Maya hesitated. This level of service wasn't normal for body shops she'd dealt with before. How much will the estimate cost? No charge. Evan's a good customer, and he said this was important to him. After Maya hung up, she stood in her kitchen wondering what exactly she'd gotten herself into. Evan Hart seemed determined to make things as easy as possible for her, which was either very kind or very suspicious. Her phone buzzed with a text from Evan. Marcus called you early, didn't he? He does that. Hopefully, it wasn't too early. Maya. It's fine. He's coming to the hospital at noon to look at my car. Evan. He's the best. Fair prices, honest work. If the repair costs more than a couple $100, let me know. Maya stared at that message. You don't need to pay for anything. I have insurance. Evan. I know, but I want to help if it's expensive. It was my car you hit. Maya. Technically, it was a runaway shopping cart that caused the whole thing. Evan. Details. Can I ask you something? Maya. Sure. Evan, would you be interested in having dinner sometime this week? Nothing fancy, just a chance to talk more. Maya felt that warm feeling in her chest again. I'd like that, but I should warn you I have a 5-year-old. Dinner plans are complicated. Evan. What if we did something that included Noah? A family-friendly place. Maya looked at the phone in surprise. Most men she'd dated wanted nothing to do with Noah, at least not right away. Maya. You want to have dinner with both of us? Evan. if that's okay with you. Noah seems like good company. And honestly, I think I'm more comfortable around him than most adults. Maya, because kids don't expect handshakes? Evan, among other things. Can I think about where to take a 5-year-old dinosaur expert and get back to you? Maya, absolutely. Maya finished getting ready for work with a smile on her face. Maybe Janelle was wrong. Maybe some people really were different than she expected. Then again, it was only Monday morning. There was plenty of time for things to go wrong. But for now, Maya decided to enjoy the feeling that something might actually go right for once. Marcus from the body shop was exactly what Evan had promised, honest and thorough. He looked at Maya's car during her lunch break and gave her an estimate that was much lower than she'd expected. 150, maybe 200 at most, he said, making notes on his clipboard. The crack is clean and the paint isn't damaged. Should be good as new. That's it? Maya asked. That's it. Evan said you might be worried about the cost, but this is minor stuff. After Marcus left, Maya texted Evan, "Much better than I thought. Thank you for the recommendation." Evan, "Good. I'm glad it's not expensive. Have you thought about dinner?" Maya, "I have. Noah usually eats around 6, so anywhere family-friendly would work." Evan, "What about Wednesday? There's a place called Benny's that has a kids' menu and a sandbox area. Would that work?" Maya smiled. He'd clearly done research. "That sounds perfect. Noah will love the sandbox." Wednesday evening, Maya changed clothes 3 times before settling on jeans and a blue sweater. Nothing fancy, but nice enough for dinner out. "Where are we going again?" Noah asked, clutching Rex as they walked to the car. "To have dinner with Mr. Hart, remember? He's the man who found Rex in his car. The nice mister who knows about dinosaurs." "That's right. Is he your boyfriend?" Maya nearly tripped over her own feet. "No, baby. He's just a friend." "Okay. Can I bring Rex?" "Of course." Benny's restaurant was busy but not crowded. Maya spotted Evan. Immediately, he was sitting at a corner table, looking slightly nervous. When he saw them coming, he stood and waved. "Mr. Hart." Noah ran ahead of Maya and stopped just short of throwing himself into another hug. Instead, he held up Rex. "Look, Rex is here too." "Hi, Rex," Evan said seriously. "I'm glad you could make it." Noah giggled. "He doesn't really talk. Are you sure? He looks like he has something important to say." Maya watched this exchange with a warm feeling in her chest. Evan was naturally good with Noah, but she could see he was also trying asking questions, getting down to Noah's eye level when he spoke to him. "How was your day?" Evan asked Maya as she sat down. "Long. We had 3 doctors call in sick, so the schedule was chaos. How about you?" "Boring meetings mostly. The most interesting part was researching restaurants that have sandboxes." The waitress came over, and Noah immediately asked if they had dinosaur nuggets. When she said they did, he beamed like Christmas had come early. "What kind of nuggets are those?" Evan asked. "They're shaped like dinosaurs," Noah explained. "T-Rex and Stegosaurus and Triceratops. Do they taste like dinosaurs?" Noah thought about this seriously. "I don't think so. They taste like chicken. That's probably for the best. Real dinosaurs might be tough to chew." Maya ordered a salad, and Evan got a burger. When the food came, Noah arranged his dinosaur nuggets on his plate, like they were having a meeting. "What are they talking about?" Evan asked. "Rex wants to know if you have any dinosaurs at your house." Evan considered this. "Tell Rex I don't have toy dinosaurs, but I have some books with dinosaur pictures, and I think there might be dinosaur bones at the museum." "Real bones?" Noah's eyes went wide. "Real bones. Maybe we could go look at them sometime, if your mama thinks that's a good idea." Maya felt a flutter of something that might have been hope or might have been nervousness. That sounds like fun. After dinner, Noah played in the sandbox while Maya and Evan talked at their table. The sandbox was fenced in and visible from where they sat, so Maya could keep an eye on him while they had adult conversation. "Can I ask you something?" Maya said. "Sure. Earlier, when Noah almost hugged you again, you handled it really well. Is it getting easier?" Evan looked out at Noah, who was building an elaborate sandcastle. "A little, maybe. With him, anyway. I think it's because he's not trying to prove anything or get something from me. He's just genuine. That's Noah. What you see is what you get." "It's refreshing." Evan turned back to Maya. "Can I ask you something now?" "Okay. Noah's father, is he in the picture?" Maya had been expecting this question eventually. "His name is Tom. We were together for 3 years, but we split up when Noah was 2. Tom sees him every other weekend and Wednesday nights. That must be hard, co-parenting with an ex. It has its moments. Tom's not a bad guy, we wanted different things. He wasn't ready to be a family man, and I was already a family woman. Evan nodded. Does he mind you dating? I don't date much, so it hasn't come up. Tom and I have an understanding. Noah comes first, everything else comes second. That makes sense. Maya studied Evan's face. Does that bother you? That Noah has another father? No. It sounds like you're both putting Noah first, which is what matters. Evan paused. I should probably tell you I don't have experience with kids, or with dating someone who has kids. So if I mess up, just tell me. You're doing fine so far. Am I? Noah likes you. That's not easy to fake. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching Noah dig tunnels in the sand. Other families were scattered around the restaurant, and Maya noticed that Evan seemed relaxed here in a way he hadn't at the coffee shop. This is nice, she said. It is. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for including Noah. Most men wouldn't have done that. Most men probably handle kids better than I do. I don't know about that. You've been perfect with him. Evan looked surprised. Perfect? You talk to him like he's a real person, not a pet or an inconvenience. You answer his questions seriously. You remember things he tells you. Maya shrugged. Perfect might be the wrong word, but it's good, really good. When it was time to leave, Noah hugged Evan's legs again. This time, Evan was ready for it. He placed both hands on Noah's shoulders and didn't pull away until Noah was finished. Thank you for dinner, Mr. Hart, Noah said politely. Thank you for coming, Noah. And Rex. As they walked to their cars, Maya felt lighter than she had in a long time. The evening had been easy and comfortable, without any of the awkward tension that usually came with first dates. Can we do this again sometime? Evan asked, when they reached Maya's car. I'd like that. Maybe just the two of us next time, if you can get a babysitter. Maya felt that flutter again. I think I can arrange that. Good. Evan stepped back as Maya got Noah buckled into his booster seat. Drive safely. You too. As Maya drove home, Noah chatted about the sandbox and the dinosaur nuggets, and how Mr. Hart was really nice and not scary at all. Maya agreed. Evan Hart was turning out to be nothing like what she'd expected. The next week, Evan called Maya on Thursday evening. Is Noah in bed? He asked. Just tucked in. Why? I wanted to ask you something, and I thought it might be better to discuss it without dinosaur commentary. Maya laughed. What is it? My company has a board dinner next Thursday. It's formal, boring, and usually terrible. But I need to bring someone, and I was wondering if you'd come with me. Maya sat down hard on her couch. A board dinner? I know it's not fun, but, Evan, that's not the issue. I don't have anything appropriate to wear to a fancy business dinner. That's not a problem. What is a problem? Maya thought for a moment. Photos. If there are photographers there, I don't want my picture in the business section of the newspaper. I have a job to think about, and Noah's privacy. I can make sure there are no posed photos with you in them. What about candid shots? Those are harder to control, but I can ask the photographer to avoid our table. Maya was quiet, thinking. A board dinner with one of the city's most prominent businessmen was way outside her comfort zone. Can I think about it? She asked. Of course. But Maya? Yeah. I wouldn't ask if I didn't want you there. And I wouldn't ask if I thought it would cause problems for you. After they hung up, Maya called Janelle. He asked you to what? Janelle's voice rose an octave. A board dinner. For his company. Maya, honey. That's not dinner. That's making a statement. What kind of statement? The kind that says, this woman is important to me. You don't take just anybody to company events. Maya hadn't thought about it that way. Maybe it's just because he needs a date, and I'm convenient. Do you really believe that? I don't know what to believe. This is all moving so fast. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Rich men move in fast forward. They decide they want something, and they go after it. What if I want to say yes? Janelle was quiet for a moment. Then you better be ready for whatever comes next, because saying yes to that dinner is saying yes to being part of his world, at least temporarily. And you think that's a bad idea? I think you need to ask yourself what happens when he gets tired of playing house with you and Noah, because men like him always get tired eventually. After Maya hung up, she sat on her couch, staring at her phone. Janelle's words stung because there was truth in them. Maya had been hurt before by men who promised more than they could deliver. But Evan had been nothing but honest with her so far. He'd told her about his touch issues up front. He'd included Noah from the beginning. He'd asked about Tom without jealousy or judgment. Maybe Janelle was wrong. Maybe some men really were different. Her phone buzzed with a text from Evan. "I know it's a big ask. Whatever you decide is fine." Maya stared at the message for a long time before typing back, "Can we talk about it in person? Maybe Saturday?" Evan, "Absolutely. Same time, same place as last week?" Maya, "Perfect." Saturday afternoon, Maya met Evan at their usual coffee shop. But instead of sitting inside, he suggested they walk around the block. "I thought you might be more comfortable talking about this without an audience," he said. They walked slowly down the quiet residential street near the hospital. Maya noticed that Evan kept a careful distance between them, close enough to talk comfortably, far enough that they wouldn't accidentally brush hands. "I've been thinking about the dinner," Maya said. "And? I'm nervous about it. Not because of you, but because of what it might mean. Janelle thinks I'm getting in over my head." "Janelle might be right." Maya looked at him in surprise. "That's not what I expected you to say." "I don't want to lie to you, Maya. Going to that dinner with me will get you noticed. People will want to know who you are, what you do, how we met. Some of them will be nice about it, and some won't." "What do you mean?" "I mean, there are people in this city who think they know what's best for me, and a single mother who works at the hospital might not fit their idea of an appropriate +1. Maya stopped walking. "Then why are you asking me?" Evan stopped too. "Because I don't care what they think. Because you're the first person in years who talks to me like I'm just a regular person instead of a bank account. And because," he paused, "because I like you, Maya. I like Noah. I like the way you make me feel like maybe I'm not as broken as I thought." Maya felt her heart do something complicated in her chest. "You're not broken, Evan. Some days I feel like I am. We all feel like that sometimes." They started walking again. Maya could see their coffee shop up ahead, which meant their loop was almost finished. "If I say yes," she said, "what would that look like? What do I need to know?" "It's cocktail hour starting at 6, dinner at 7, formal dress, but not ball gown formal. Maybe 20 people, total board members and their spouses, a few department heads. I'd pick you up at 5:30, have you home by 10. And no photos?" "No posed photos. I'll talk to the photographer about candids." Maya thought about Noah, who would be with Tom that night anyway. She thought about her black dress hanging in the back of her closet, the one she'd bought for job interviews and never had a chance to wear. "Okay," she said. "Okay, you'll think about it more." Or, "Okay, yes. Okay, yes. But I have conditions." "Name them." "No hand-holding or touching unless we both agree in the moment. No staying late if I say I'm ready to leave. And if this turns into a circus, we both walk away." Evan smiled, that real smile Maya was starting to love. "Deal." "Really?" "Really. Maya, I meant what I said. I don't care what other people think. I care what you think." They had reached the coffee shop. Maya turned to face Evan fully. "I care what you think too," she said. "That's what scares me." "Good scared or bad scared?" Maya considered this. "I'm not sure yet." The following Thursday, Maya stood in front of her bathroom mirror trying to calm her nerves. The black dress fit perfectly, and Janelle had done her hair in an elegant updo. She looked like someone who belonged at fancy dinners. She just didn't feel like it. Noah was spending the night at Tom's, which had led to an awkward conversation about why Mama was getting dressed up. "I'm having dinner with Mr. Hart," she told Noah. "The nice Mr. Can I come?" "Not this time, baby. It's a grown-up dinner. Will you tell him I said hi?" "I will." Tom had been polite but distant when he picked up Noah. He'd noticed her dress, but he hadn't asked questions, for which Maya was grateful. At exactly 5:30, there was a soft knock on her door. Maya grabbed her purse and opened it to find Evan standing there in a dark suit, holding a small bouquet of yellow flowers. "You look beautiful," he said simply. "Thank you. You clean up pretty well yourself." He handed her the flowers. "These are for you." I asked the florist what was cheerful but not too romantic for a first formal date. Maya laughed. "Yellow roses are perfect. Come in while I put them in water." Evan stepped into her small living room and looked around. Maya saw it through his eyes, the second-hand furniture, Noah's toys neatly organized in bins, the artwork on the refrigerator. "This is nice," he said. "It feels like home. It's small, but it's ours." Maya arranged the flowers in a vase and set them on the kitchen table. When she turned around, Evan was looking at a photo on the mantel, her and Noah at the beach last summer. "Good memory?" he asked. "The best," Noah had never seen the ocean before. He spent 3 hours building sandcastles and collecting shells. He looks happy. He was. We both were. They drove to the hotel in Evan's car, not the classic coupe from the parking lot, but a sleek black sedan that still managed to turn heads. The conversation was easy, which helped Maya relax. "Tell me about these people," she said as they pulled into the hotel parking garage. "Dr. Richardson is the board chair. He's old school but fair. His wife Helen is sweet but talks a lot. Marcus Webb runs our finance department, brilliant with numbers, terrible with small talk. His husband David is much more fun." Evan ran through the rest of the list as they walked to the elevator. Maya tried to memorize names and faces, but mostly she focused on breathing steadily and not tripping in her heels. The cocktail hour was held in a private dining room on the hotel's top floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a view of the city lights, and round tables were set with white linens and crystal glasses. Evan, a silver-haired man, approached them immediately. "Good to see you. Dr. Richardson, I'd like you to meet Maya Ellis. Maya, this is Dr. Richardson, our board chair." Maya shook his hand and smiled. "It's nice to meet you." "The pleasure's mine. Evan's been keeping you a secret." "Not a secret," Evan said easily. "Just private." They moved through the room, and Evan introduced Maya to each couple. She was surprised by how normal everyone seemed. She'd expected stuffiness and judgment, but most people were simply curious and friendly. "What do you do, Maya?" asked Helen Richardson as they stood near the windows. "I work in scheduling at City General Hospital." "How wonderful. That must be challenging work." "It can be, but I enjoy it. Every day is different." "And how did you meet our Evan?" Maya glanced at Evan, who was standing close enough to hear but not close enough to make her feel crowded. "Car accident," Maya said with a smile. "Minor fender bender in a parking lot." "Oh my. Well, some of the best relationships start in unexpected ways." When dinner was announced, Evan guided Maya to their table with his hand hovering just behind her back, not touching, but present. Maya appreciated the gesture. It felt protective without being possessive. Dinner conversation flowed around topics. Maya could contribute to favorite restaurants in the city, vacation destinations, book recommendations. Marcus Webb's husband David turned out to be an elementary school teacher, and he and Maya had an animated discussion about 5-year-old behavioral patterns. "You have children?" David asked. "One son. He's 5 and completely obsessed with dinosaurs." "Oh, that's a wonderful age. They're so curious about everything." Maya felt Evan's attention shift to her conversation, but he didn't interrupt or try to steer the discussion elsewhere. After dinner, as people mingled over coffee and dessert, Dr. Richardson approached their table. "Evan, could I steal you for a moment? There's something I wanted to run by you about the quarterly projections." "Of course." Evan looked at Maya. "Will you be okay here for a few minutes?" "I'll be fine." As Evan walked away with Dr. Richardson, Helen Richardson slid into his empty chair. "He seems quite taken with you," she said with a conspiratorial smile. "He's very kind," Maya replied carefully. "Evan's always been a bit of a mystery to us. Brilliant businessman, of course, but he keeps his personal life very close to the vest. It's nice to see him relaxed and happy." Maya looked across the room where Evan was deep in conversation with Dr. Richardson. Even from a distance, she could see the careful way he held himself, the measured gestures that kept people at arm's length. "He works hard," Maya said. "Too hard, sometimes. We've all been hoping he'd find someone special, someone who understands him." Before Maya could respond, Evan returned to the table. "Sorry about that," he said, settling back into his chair. "Budget discussions always take longer than they should." "No problem. Helen was just telling me how nice it is to see you happy." Evan looked surprised. "Was she?" "Don't look so shocked," Helen laughed. "You do seem different tonight. More present." Maya watched a flush creep up Evan's neck. He wasn't used to being the center of personal attention, she realized. Business attention, yes, but not this kind of gentle observation about his emotional state. "Should we head out?" Evan asked Maya quietly. "It's getting late." Maya checked her phone. It was only 9:15, but she could see that Evan had reached his social limit for the evening. "That sounds good." They said their goodbyes and made their way to the elevator. Once the doors closed, Evan let out a long breath. "How was that?" he asked. "Better than I expected. Everyone was really nice." "They were, weren't they? I was worried about judgment or uncomfortable questions." Dr. Richardson asked if we were serious, but he did it in a fatherly way, not an intrusive way. The elevator doors opened, and they walked toward the parking garage. Maya's heels clicked on the concrete, echoing in the quiet space. "What did you tell him?" Evan asked as they reached his car. "That we're taking things slow and seeing where it goes." Evan unlocked the car but didn't immediately open Maya's door. Instead, he turned to face her. "Is that how you see it? Taking things slow and seeing where it goes?" Maya looked at him in the dim parking garage light. His hair was slightly mussed from the evening, and his tie was loosened. He looked more approachable than he had in the formal dining room. "Yes," she said. "Is that how you see it? I was hoping for that, yes. But Maya? Yeah? Tonight meant something to me. Having you there, introducing you to those people. I wanted you to know that." Maya felt that complicated flutter in her chest again. It meant something to me, too. They drove back to her apartment in comfortable silence. When Evan pulled up to her building, Maya turned to face him. "Thank you for tonight, for including me, for making sure I felt comfortable, for everything. Thank you for saying yes. I know it wasn't easy." Maya reached for her door handle, then stopped. "Evan, yeah? Would you like to try something?" "What do you mean?" "A handshake. Just to see how it feels after a good evening." Evan looked down at his hands, then back at her. "Okay, but slowly." Maya held out her right hand, palm up. Evan looked at it for a moment, then slowly placed his palm against hers. His hand was warm and slightly trembling, but he didn't pull away. "How is that?" Maya asked softly. "Good. Strange, but good." They sat like that for a moment, palms pressed together in the dim car. Then Evan gently pulled his hand away. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you for trusting me." Maya got out of the car and walked to her door. As she unlocked it, she could hear Evan's car still running behind her. She turned and he waved back before driving away. Inside her apartment, Maya kicked off her heels and hung up her dress. The yellow roses looked cheerful on her kitchen table, and she smiled every time she looked at them. Her phone buzzed with a text from Evan. "Thank you for tonight. Sleep well." Maya typed back, "Thank you for a perfect evening. Sweet dreams." As she got ready for bed, Maya felt hopeful in a way she hadn't in a long time. Tonight had gone better than she'd dared to expect. Evan had been attentive without being clingy, proud to have her there without making her feel like a trophy. Maybe Janelle was wrong about rich men and their motives. Maybe some people really were exactly what they seemed to be. Maya fell asleep thinking about the warmth of Evan's hand in hers and the way he'd smiled when Dr. Richardson called him happy. The next week passed in a blur of text messages and phone calls. Evan sent Maya pictures of dinosaur exhibits he saw online, and Maya sent him photos of Noah's latest Lego creations. They talked every evening after Noah went to bed, covering everything from favorite books to childhood fears to plans for the weekend. On Saturday, they met at the community park with Noah. Evan had brought a bag of sandbox toys and a field guide to local plants, which made Noah beam with excitement. "Look, Mr. Hart," Noah called from the sandbox. "I made a dinosaur habitat." Evan knelt down in the sand, not caring about his genes, and examined Noah's creation seriously. "This is impressive work. Tell me about the different sections." Maya watched from a nearby bench as Noah gave Evan a guided tour of his sand creation. Tom was supposed to pick Noah up in an hour for his weekly visit, which meant this was a short play date. But Evan didn't seem to mind. He was completely focused on Noah's chatter about plant-eating versus meat-eating dinosaurs. "Maya?" She turned to find Tom approaching the bench. He was early. "Hey," she said, standing up. "You're not supposed to be here for another hour. Change of plans. Mom wants to take Noah to the movies, and the early show works better." Tom looked toward the sandbox, where Evan was now helping Noah dig a water feature. "That him?" "That's Evan." Tom studied Evan for a moment. "He doesn't look like what I expected." "What did you expect?" "I don't know. More intimidating, I guess. He's sitting in a sandbox." Maya laughed. "That he is. Noah seems comfortable with him. They get along well." Tom was quiet for a moment, watching Evan and Noah work together on the sand habitat. "Maya, I need to ask you something, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way." "Okay. This thing with the rich guy, how serious is it?" "I don't know yet." "Why?" "Because Noah's getting attached. He talks about Mr. Hart constantly when he's with me. Mr. Hart likes dinosaurs. Mr. Hart has a nice car. Mr. Hart brought him a book about fossils." Maya felt a flutter of worry. "Is that a problem?" "It's not a problem unless this guy disappears in a few weeks. Then it becomes my problem when Noah asks me why his new friend went away. Before Maya could respond, Noah came running over to them. "Daddy!" He threw himself into Tom's arms. "Look what Mr. Hart and I built." Tom hugged Noah, then looked at the elaborate sand creation. "That's amazing, buddy. Did you do all that yourself?" "Mr. Hart helped. He knows about erosion and drainage and stuff. Come meet him." Noah grabbed Tom's hand and pulled him toward the sandbox. Maya followed, her stomach tight with nervousness. "Mr. Hart, this is my daddy," Noah announced. "Daddy, this is Mr. Hart. He's really nice and he knows about dinosaurs." Evan stood up, brushing sand off his knees. He didn't extend his hand, which Maya appreciated. She hadn't told Tom about Evan's touch issues. "It's nice to meet you," Evan said. "Noah's told me a lot about you." "Same here," Tom replied. He looked at Evan carefully, but not unfriendly. "Thanks for keeping him entertained. He's easy to entertain, very curious about everything." "That's Noah." Tom glanced at the sandbox creation. "This is pretty elaborate for a Saturday afternoon project. Noah did most of the work. I just provided some engineering advice." Tom almost smiled at that. Engineering advice for a sandbox. That's a first. Noah tugged on Tom's sleeve. "Daddy, can Mr. Hart come to the movies with us?" Maya's stomach dropped. "Noah, sweetie, it's okay," Evan said quickly. "I have other plans anyway, but maybe another time. Promise?" Noah asked. Evan looked at Maya, then at Tom. "We'll see." "Okay? Okay." Noah hugged Evan around the legs, and Maya watched Evan handle it with more ease than he'd shown the first time. "Thank you for helping me build stuff. Thank you for teaching me about dinosaurs." As Tom and Noah walked away, Noah waved enthusiastically at Evan until they were out of sight. "That went well," Maya said, settling back onto the bench. Evan sat down next to her, leaving a careful space between them. "Tom seems like a good father." "He is. He and I didn't work as a couple, but he loves Noah. That's what matters." Maya looked at Evan. "He's worried that Noah is getting attached to you. Is that a concern for you too?" Maya considered this. "A little. Noah doesn't remember me dating anyone. You're the first man he spent time with who isn't family. What can I do to make this easier? Just be honest with me if you start having doubts. Don't wait until you're sure you want out." Noah bounces back from disappointment, but it takes time. Evan was quiet for a moment. "Maya, can I tell you something?" "Of course. I've never been in a relationship that involved a child before. I don't know the rules or the right way to handle things, but I'm not going anywhere unless you want me to. What if you change your mind? Then I'll be honest with you about it. But I won't just disappear." Maya felt some of the tension leave her shoulders. "Okay, thank you." They sat in comfortable silence, watching other families play in the park. The afternoon was warm, and Maya felt more relaxed than she had all week. "Can I ask you something?" Evan said. "Sure. Would you be interested in having dinner again next week? Just the two of us?" "I'd like that." "Good. Because I have something I want to talk to you about." "Something good or something serious?" "Both, I think." Maya looked at him curiously, but Evan just smiled and changed the subject to Noah's upcoming school science fair. As they walked back to their cars an hour later, Maya wondered what Evan wanted to discuss. The serious tone in his voice suggested it was important, but for now, she was content to enjoy the warm afternoon and the easy companionship of someone who seemed to genuinely care about both her and Noah. Whatever Evan wanted to talk about could wait until next week. Maya was just finishing her lunch break on Tuesday when her phone buzzed with an urgent text from Janelle. "Check the neighborhood blog now." Maya opened her browser and navigated to the local community website. At the top of the page was a photo that made her stomach drop. It was her and Evan at the community fair the previous weekend. They were standing close together near the children's face painting booth, and Evan's hand was reaching toward hers. But the photo was taken at the exact moment he'd pulled back, making it look like she was reaching for him and he was rejecting her touch. The caption read, "Local tech CEO Evan Hart spotted at family event with mystery woman and child. Sources suggest romantic interest, though Hart appeared to rebuff physical affection. More details inside." Maya's hands shook as she scrolled down to read the full article. It was full of speculation about her identity, her job, and her relationship with Evan. The writer had somehow discovered that she worked at the hospital, though they hadn't named her specifically. The worst part was the comments section, which was filled with opinions about whether a hospital worker was appropriate for someone of Evan's status in the community. Maya's phone rang. It was Evan. Maya, I just saw the blog post. I'm so sorry. How did they even get that photo? Someone with a phone at the fair. I should have been more careful. Maya felt tears prick her eyes. Evan, my supervisor just called me into her office. Someone forwarded this to the hospital administration. What did she say? That I need to be discreet about my personal life if it's going to attract public attention. She was nice about it, but the message was clear. There was a long pause. Maya, I'm going to fix this. How? I'll call the blog and demand they take it down. That'll just make it a bigger story. Then I'll issue a statement clarifying that. No, Maya's voice was firmer than she felt. No statements, no clarifications. That just feeds the rumor mill. Then what do you want me to do? Maya closed her eyes. I don't know. I need to think. Can I see you tonight? After Noah goes to bed? I don't think that's a good idea right now. Another long pause. Maya, please don't let this scare you away from us. Us? Maya felt a sob threatening. Evan, there is no us. There's you, and there's me. And there's a 5-year-old boy who doesn't understand why people are talking about his mama on the internet. Has Noah seen it? No, and I'm going to make sure he doesn't. But Tom will see it, and Tom's family, and everyone at Noah's school. I'm so sorry. This is my fault. It's not your fault, Evan, but it's our reality. Maya hung up and put her head in her hands. In the space of 2 hours, her quiet life had become public entertainment for people who didn't even know her name. Her phone buzzed with another call. This time it was Tom. Maya, we need to talk. I know. I saw it. My cousin just called me. She wants to know if she should be concerned about Noah's living situation. Maya's blood ran cold. What does that mean? She thinks maybe Noah would be better off with a more stable environment. Less drama. Tom, you can't be serious. I'm not saying I agree with her, Maya. But if this gets bigger, if there are more photos and stories, what are you saying? I'm saying maybe you should pump the brakes on this relationship until the attention dies down. After Tom hung up, Maya sat in her car in the hospital parking lot and cried. Not just because of the blog post, but because of how quickly everything had gotten complicated. Her phone buzzed with a text from Evan. I understand if you need space, but please don't think this changes how I feel about you and Noah. Maya stared at the message for a long time before typing back. I need time to figure this out. Evan, take all the time you need. I'll be here. Maya put her phone away and went back to work. She had 4 hours left on her shift, and she was determined to act like everything was normal. But as she scheduled appointments and answered phones, she couldn't stop thinking about the comments on the blog post, about people judging her worthiness based on her job and her status as a single mother, about Tom's cousin and her concerns about Noah's living situation, about the careful balance she'd built for herself and her son, and how quickly it could all fall apart. By the time Maya got home that evening, she'd made a decision. She needed to protect Noah first, everything else second, even if it meant walking away from the first man she'd cared about in years, even if it meant giving up the possibility of something real and lasting and good, because some risks were too big to take when you had a 5-year-old counting on you to keep his world safe and stable. Maya looked at Evan's contact information in her phone for a long time that night before finally typing, I think we should take a break until this dies down. I'm sorry. His response came immediately. I understand. But Maya, this isn't over, unless you want it to be. Maya turned off her phone without responding. Sometimes understanding wasn't enough. Sometimes even the best intentions couldn't bridge the gap between two very different worlds. And sometimes you had to choose protecting your child over protecting your heart. Maya spent the weekend avoiding her phone and trying to act normal for Noah's sake. But by Sunday evening, she was exhausted from pretending everything was fine. Noah sensed something was wrong. He kept asking where Mr. Hart was and why they weren't going to the park anymore. Mr. Hart is busy with work, baby, Maya told him for the 3rd time that day. But he said we could go see the dinosaur bones at the museum. Maybe another time. When? Maya's heart ached. I don't know, Noah. Monday morning brought a surprise. Maya was getting ready for work when her phone rang. It was an unknown number, but she answered anyway. Maya, this is Tom. I'm calling from my gym. Is everything okay? You sound strange. I'm fine, but someone's here who wants to talk to you. Can you meet us at Murphy's Coffee in 20 minutes? Maya frowned. Who wants to talk to me? Evan Hart. Maya's stomach dropped. Tom, I don't think... Maya, just come, please. He's not what I expected. Against her better judgment, Maya found herself walking into Murphy's Coffee 20 minutes later. Tom and Evan were sitting at a corner table, and both men stood when they saw her. "Thank you for coming," Evan said quietly. Maya looked between the two men. "What's this about?" "Sit down," Tom said. "Please." Maya sat across from Evan, with Tom beside her. Evan looked tired, like he hadn't been sleeping well. "I asked Tom to meet me," Evan began, "because I wanted him to hear this directly from me, not from rumors or blog posts." "Hear what?" Evan looked at Tom, then back at Maya. "I'm not going anywhere. Not because of some gossip website, not because people have opinions about who I should date. I'm here for the long term if you'll have me." "Evan, let me finish. I know this got scary fast. I know the attention is uncomfortable and potentially harmful to Noah, but running away isn't going to solve anything." Tom leaned forward. "He's right." Maya stared at her ex. "You're taking his side?" "I'm taking Noah's side. And yours?" Tom ran his hand through his hair. "Maya, I've been watching this guy for the last hour. He didn't come here to impress me or win me over. He came here to ask my permission to love my son." Maya's breath caught. "What?" Evan's cheeks flushed, but he didn't back down. "Tom, can you tell Maya what I told you?" Tom looked at Maya. "He said he's not trying to replace me as Noah's father. He said he wants to be another adult who loves Noah and protects him. He said he'll step back from any decision-making about Noah unless we both agree he should be involved." Maya felt tears threatening. "You said all that?" "And more," Tom added. "He also said he's going to stop reading comments on that stupid blog, and he suggested we all ignore it until it goes away." "Which it will," Evan said firmly. "People have short attention spans. There'll be some new drama next week." Maya looked at both men. "What about your cousin, Tom? Her concerns about custody?" Tom looked embarrassed. "I talked to her. She was just being dramatic because she saw the blog post. She doesn't actually have any concerns about how you're raising Noah. But if more stories come out, then we deal with them together," Evan interrupted. "All of us. As a team." Maya felt something loosen in her chest. "As a team, if that's what you want," Evan said softly. Maya looked at Tom. "And you're okay with this?" "Maya, I've never seen you happy like you were these past few weeks. And Noah. Noah lights up when he talks about this guy." Tom glanced at Evan. "I'd be an idiot to mess that up because of some internet gossip." Maya sat back in her chair, overwhelmed. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll give us another chance," Evan said. "Say you'll let me prove that some risks are worth taking. And if it gets messy again, then we figure it out. Together." Maya looked at Evan's hands, resting flat on the table. No fidgeting, no nervous energy, just steady presence. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay? Okay, yes. But I have conditions." Evan smiled, that real smile she'd missed. "Name them. No more hiding. If we're doing this, we're doing it honestly. No sneaking around because of what people might think." "Agreed." "Noah comes first. Always. For all of us. Absolutely. And if you're ever unsure about this, about us, about being part of our complicated family situation, you tell me immediately. No fading away. No making excuses. Deal." Evan paused. "Can I add one condition of my own?" "What?" "If you get scared again, if the attention becomes too much, you talk to me before you run. We figure it out together." Maya felt tears spill over. "Deal." Tom cleared his throat. "So, are we all good here? Because I need to get back to work, and Noah's going to want an explanation for why Mr. Hart disappeared for a week." Maya laughed through her tears. "What are we going to tell him?" "The truth," Evan said. "That adults sometimes need to have serious conversations about how to handle complicated situations. He'll understand that. Noah's pretty smart, and he's been worried about you all week." Maya's heart clenched. "He has?" Tom nodded. "He asked me yesterday if you were sad because Mr. Hart was mad at you." "What did you tell him?" "That grown-ups sometimes need time to figure things out, but that doesn't mean anyone is mad." Maya wiped her eyes. "I hate that he was worried." "Then let's fix it," Evan said simply. That afternoon, Maya picked Noah up from school as usual, but instead of going straight home, she drove to the community park. "Why are we here, Mama?" Noah asked as she parked the car. "Someone wants to see you." Noah looked around the parking lot until he spotted Evan sitting on their usual bench. Noah's face broke into a huge grin. "Mr. Hart." He scrambled out of his booster seat and ran across the grass. Maya watched Evan stand up and brace himself for Noah's enthusiastic hug. When it came, he wrapped his arms around Noah without hesitation. "Hey, buddy," Evan said, his voice thick with emotion. "I missed you. I missed you too. Where were you? Mama said you were busy with work. I was handling some grown-up stuff. But I'm here now." Noah pulled back to look at Evan seriously. "Were you sad? You look like you were sad." Maya reached them just as Evan knelt down to Noah's eye level. "I was a little sad," Evan admitted, "because I couldn't see you and your mama for a while." "Why not?" Evan glanced at Maya, who nodded encouragingly. "Sometimes when adults care about each other people like to talk about it. And sometimes that talking can get loud and uncomfortable." Noah considered this. "Like when Mrs. Peterson talks loudly about people in the hallway." "Exactly like that. So your mama and I needed to figure out how to handle the loud talking." "Did you figure it out?" "We did. And we decided that what other people say doesn't matter as much as what we know is true." "What do we know is true?" Evan smiled. "We know that I care about you, and your mama very much. And that you're stuck with me if you want to be." "I want to be stuck with you." Maya felt tears threatening again. Evan was so natural with Noah, so honest without being scary. "Good," Evan said, standing up, "because I brought something for you." He pulled a small wrapped package from his jacket pocket. Noah tore off the paper to reveal a book about local dinosaur fossils. "This is about dinosaurs that lived right here where we live," Evan explained. "I thought maybe we could plan that museum trip we talked about." "Really? When?" Evan looked at Maya. "This weekend, if your mama says it's okay." "Can we, Mama? Please." "I think that sounds perfect," Maya said. As Noah settled onto the bench to flip through his new book, Evan and Maya walked a few steps away. "Thank you," Maya said quietly, "for not giving up, for talking to Tom, for everything. Thank you for giving me another chance." "Evan, about what Tom said earlier, about you asking permission to love Noah." "Too much, too fast." Evan looked worried. "No, just, are you sure? Loving someone else's child is complicated. It's messy and hard, and there are no guarantees." Evan was quiet for a moment, watching Noah examine his book. "Maya, I haven't felt like I belonged anywhere in 20 years, but when I'm with you and Noah, everything feels possible. What if we hurt you? What if you don't?" Maya looked at this man who'd been brave enough to face her ex-husband, honest enough to tell a 5-year-old the truth about grown-up problems, and patient enough to wait for her to stop being scared. "Okay," she said. "Okay, what?" "Okay, let's try this. The real version. No hiding, no backing down when things get complicated." "Are you sure?" Maya looked at Noah, who was showing his book to a passing dog walker with pure enthusiasm. She thought about Tom's words earlier, about how happy she'd been these past few weeks, about how Evan had shown up consistently, authentically, without trying to be anything other than exactly who he was. "I'm sure." Evan smiled and held out his hand. Not for a handshake, but just an offer. Maya took it, and they stood together watching Noah make friends with a golden retriever while explaining the difference between herbivores and carnivores. It felt like a beginning. The following Thursday, Noah's school held its monthly family night. Parents and kids gathered in the classrooms for games, crafts, and informal socializing. Maya usually enjoyed these events, but tonight she was nervous. It would be the first public appearance she and Evan made together since the blog post. And while the online drama had largely died down, Maya wasn't sure how the other parents would react to seeing them together. "You don't have to come," Maya had told Evan when she mentioned the event. "I want to come, if you want me there." "I do, but it might be awkward." "Then it'll be awkward. We'll handle it." Now, as Maya and Noah approached the school entrance, Maya spotted Evan's car in the parking lot. He'd arrived early, as planned, to give her a chance to gauge the room before they were seen together. Inside, the hallways buzzed with activity. Families moved between classrooms, and children's artwork covered every available wall space. Maya found Noah's kindergarten room and immediately spotted Evan standing near the craft table, talking to Noah's teacher, Mrs. Martinez. "Mr. Hart." Noah broke away from Maya and ran to Evan. "Hey, Noah, ready to show me your classroom?" "Yes. Come see my desk and my reading corner and my art project." Maya watched Evan follow Noah around the room, asking questions about the daily schedule and listening intently to Noah's explanations of classroom rules. A few other parents glanced their way, but most were focused on their own children. Maya. She turned to find Jennifer Walsh, another single mom from Noah's class. Jennifer's daughter Sophie was Noah's best friend. "Hi Jen, how are you?" "Good. Sophie's been talking about Noah's Mr. Hart for weeks. Is that him?" Jennifer nodded toward Evan, who was now kneeling beside Noah's desk while Noah showed him a science worksheet. "That's him. He's not what I expected from all the gossip." Maya tensed. "What kind of gossip?" "Oh, just the usual small-town stuff. Rich guy, single mom, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, he looks like he actually likes kids." Sophie said Noah told her that Mr. Hart helped him build a dinosaur habitat in the sandbox. "He's very good with Noah. That's what matters, right? Sophie's father hasn't seen her in 2 years, so I'm always happy when Noah talks about having positive male role models." Maya relaxed slightly. Maybe she'd been overthinking the potential drama. The evening continued smoothly. Evan participated in a craft project making paper plate dinosaurs, helped Noah and Sophie build block towers, and joined a group of parents discussing the upcoming school fundraiser. Evan Hart. "I'm Jim Peterson, Sophie's grandfather." An older man approached their table during snack time. Maya recognized him. He picked up Sophie sometimes and always seemed friendly. "Nice to meet you," Evan replied. "Sophie talks about Noah all the time, and Noah talks about you. The kids seem to think you're pretty great. They're easy to impress. I just answer questions about dinosaurs." Jim laughed. "That's all it takes at this age. My wife and I have been watching you with Noah tonight. You're a natural." "Thank you." Noah makes it easy. Good to see Maya happy too. She's a wonderful mother, works hard, deserves someone who appreciates that. Evan looked at Maya, who was helping Noah clean up glue sticks. "I definitely appreciate that." As the evening wound down, Maya found herself standing in the hallway with Evan, while Noah said goodbye to his friends. "That went well," Evan said. "Better than I expected. I was worried about judgment or uncomfortable questions. People mostly just seem to care that Noah is happy and well cared for, which he is, thanks to you." Maya looked around the hallway filled with family photos and children's artwork. This is Noah's world. School events, play dates, birthday parties. It's not very glamorous. It's perfect. Even when it means standing in elementary school hallways on Thursday nights instead of business dinners. Evan smiled. Especially then. As they walked to their cars, Noah chatted about everything he'd shown Mr. Hart and all the crafts they'd made together. "Can Mr. Hart come to the next family night too?" Noah asked, as Maya buckled him into his booster seat. "If he wants to and he's not busy with work." "I want to," Evan said immediately. "Save me a seat at the craft table." Noah giggled. "You can sit by me and Sophie. We'll teach you how to make friendship bracelets." After Evan drove away, Maya sat in her car for a moment before starting the engine. Tonight had felt normal, in the best possible way. Not like she was dating someone from a different world, but like Evan had simply become part of their world. The distinction mattered more than she'd realized. Saturday morning, Maya was folding laundry when her phone rang. It was Tom. "Hey," she answered. "You're not supposed to pick up Noah until noon." "I know, but I wanted to talk to you first, while he's not around. Can you meet me for coffee? Just for 20 minutes? Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine. I just want to clear the air about some things." Maya met Tom at their usual coffee shop, not the fancy place where she'd had her first date with Evan, but the family-friendly spot near Noah's school. "What's on your mind?" Maya asked as they settled into a corner booth. Tom wrapped his hands around his coffee cup. "I owe you an apology." "For what?" "For letting my cousin get in my head about the custody thing. For making you feel like you had to choose between Noah's stability and your happiness." Maya stirred her coffee slowly. "You were worried about Noah. I understand that." "I was worried about me," Tom corrected. "About being replaced, about not being important anymore." "Tom, let me say this, Maya. I've been watching you and Noah these past few weeks, since Evan came back into the picture. Noah's happier than I've seen him in a long time. He talks about Mr. Hart constantly, but he also talks about how happy his mama is. He notices that. Kids notice everything. And Noah's been saying things like, 'Mama laughs a lot now, and Mr. Hart makes Mama smile.' That stuff matters." Maya felt tears threatening. "I didn't realize he was paying that much attention." "He loves you, Maya. He wants you to be happy. And if this guy makes you happy, then I'm for it. Even though it's complicated, everything's complicated when kids are involved. But you know what's not complicated? The fact that Evan shows up. He doesn't just want the fun parts, he wants the school events and the sandbox time and the awkward conversations with exes." Maya laughed through her tears. That was pretty awkward. For all of us. But he did it anyway because he wanted my approval. Not for him, but for you and Noah. What changed your mind about him? Tom was quiet for a moment. A few things. The way he talks about Noah, like Noah's already his kid too, you know? And the way he talks about you. He doesn't see you as a single mom with baggage. He sees you as Maya, who happens to have a son. There's a difference. There is. And honestly, the guy's got money and connections, but he spends his Saturday mornings in sandboxes. That says something about his priorities. Maya nodded. He's different than I expected. Different how? More real, more human. I thought dating someone successful would be intimidating, but Evan never makes me feel like I'm not enough. Good, because you're more than enough, Maya, for anyone. As they walked back to their cars, Tom stopped at his truck. Maya, one more thing, yeah? If you marry this guy, Noah's going to want him to adopt him. Maya's breath caught. Tom, I'm not saying give up your parental rights. I'm saying shared custody, but with Evan as Noah's legal stepfather. If it comes to that, you'd be okay with that? Maya, I'll always be Noah's biological father. Nothing can change that. But if Evan wants to be his everyday father too, and if that makes our son happy and secure, Tom shrugged, then that's what's best for Noah. Maya stared at her ex-husband. When did you get so wise about relationships? When I realized that putting Noah first meant putting aside my own fears and insecurities. Thank you, Tom, for understanding, for supporting this. Thank you for finding someone who loves our kid. That's not easy to do. As Maya drove home, she thought about Tom's words, about Noah wanting Evan to adopt him, about shared custody and everyday fathers, and putting aside fears for the sake of love. It was a lot to think about, but for the first time, instead of feeling overwhelmed by the possibilities, Maya felt hopeful about them. Sunday dinner at Aunt Grace's became a weekly tradition. Grace had insisted, after meeting Maya and Noah, that family dinners were important for building relationships. Besides, she'd told Evan privately, that boy needs to see what a functional family looks like, and you need to practice being part of one. This particular Sunday, Grace had outdone herself. The dining room table was set with her good china, and she'd made Noah's favorite spaghetti and meatballs with garlic bread. Mrs. Grace, this smells amazing, Maya said as she helped carry dishes to the table. It's just Grace, honey, and it's just family dinner. Maya smiled at that. Just family. 3 weeks ago, the idea of being considered family by Evan's aunt would have terrified her. Now it felt natural. Noah was in the living room with Evan, both of them on the floor building an elaborate Lego dinosaur museum. Their conversation drifted into the kitchen. Mr. Hart, when we get married, will you teach me to drive your car? Maya dropped the serving spoon she'd been holding. When we get married? Evan's voice was careful. Yeah, Mama said people who love each other get married. And you love Mama, and Mama loves you. So when you get married, will you teach me to drive? Maya felt Grace's hand on her arm. Breathe, honey, Grace whispered. Let's see how Evan handles this. Well, Evan said thoughtfully, if your Mama and I ever decided to get married, you'd be too young to drive for a while yet. But when you're old enough, yes, I'd teach you to drive. Really. Even the fancy car. Especially the fancy car. That was my dad's car, and dads are supposed to teach their kids important things like driving. Maya's breath caught at Evan's choice of words. Are you going to be my dad? Noah asked. There was a long pause. Maya found herself holding her breath. That would depend on a lot of grown-up things, Evan said finally. But Noah, if your Mama and I got married, I'd be honored to be your stepdad. You'd still have your biological dad, who loves you very much. But you'd also have me. Like having two dads? Exactly like that. Cool. Grace squeezed Maya's arm. That boy's got good instincts. Maya wiped her eyes with a dish towel. He's 5 years old. He doesn't understand what he's asking, doesn't he, Maya? That child has been watching you and Evan for months. Kids know when adults belong together. It's too soon to be talking about marriage. Is it? Or are you just scared? Before Maya could answer, Evan appeared in the kitchen doorway. Everything okay in here? Maya looked at him, really looked. His hair was mussed from lying on the floor with Noah, and he had a small Lego brick in his hand. He looked happy and relaxed, and completely at home. Everything's perfect, Maya said, and meant it. Over dinner, Noah regaled them with stories from school, while systematically deconstructing his spaghetti into individual components, noodles, sauce, and meatballs eaten separately. "Noah, you're supposed to eat them together," Maya said gently. "I like them better this way." "Mr. Hart, do you eat your food together or separate?" Evan considered this seriously. "Depends on the food. Spaghetti I eat together, but I always eat the filling out of Oreos before I eat the cookies." "Me too. Mama thinks that's weird." "Your mama probably eats Oreos the normal way because she has more self-control than we do." Noah giggled. "What's self-control?" "It's when you do the smart thing instead of the fun thing," Grace explained. "Oh, then I don't have very much self-control." "Neither do I," Evan confessed. "That's why your mama is good for both of us." After dinner, while Grace and Maya cleaned up the kitchen, Evan and Noah settled on the couch with Noah's dinosaur book. Maya could hear Evan reading aloud, doing different voices for different dinosaurs, making Noah laugh. "He's going to be a good father," Grace said quietly. "He's not Noah's father, isn't he?" "Maya, honey, that man has been showing up for that boy for months. He goes to school events. He remembers Noah's interests. He disciplines gently when needed. What else does being a father involve? Legal responsibility, financial obligation, long-term commitment. And you don't think Evan would take on all of those things?" Maya was quiet for a moment. "I think he would. That's what scares me." "Why does that scare you?" "Because what if I'm not enough? What if he gets tired of playing house and realizes he wants something simpler?" Grace turned to face Maya fully. "Honey, let me tell you something about my nephew. Evan has never brought a woman to family dinner, ever. He's never talked about someone the way he talks about you. And he's certainly never let anyone touch him the way he lets you and Noah." "What do you mean?" "I mean that boy has spent 20 years building walls to keep people at a safe distance, and you and Noah walked right through those walls, like they were made of paper." Maya looked into the living room, where Evan was now lying on the floor, while Noah used his back as a table for building Legos. "He's different with us," Maya admitted. "He's himself with you, the real Evan, not the careful businessman he shows everyone else." "Grace, can I ask you something?" "Of course. Do you think this is moving too fast? Noah talking about marriage, Evan talking about being his stepdad." Grace smiled. "Honey, I've been watching Evan his whole life. He doesn't do anything without thinking it through completely. If he's talking about being Noah's stepfather, he's already decided he wants to be Noah's stepfather." "And you think that's a good thing?" "I think it's the best thing that's happened to this family in 20 years. As they drove home that evening, Noah fell asleep in his booster seat clutching a small toy dinosaur that Grace had given him. Maya glanced back at his peaceful face in the rearview mirror. "He had a good time tonight," she said to Evan, who was following her home to make sure they got there safely. "He did. So did I." "Evan, about what Noah said earlier, about marriage and you being his stepdad. Too much too fast?" Maya pulled into her parking spot and turned off the engine. Evan parked next to her and came around to help her carry the sleeping Noah upstairs. Once Noah was tucked into bed, Maya and Evan sat on her couch with cups of tea. "It's not too fast," Maya said finally. "It's scary, but it's not too fast." "What's scary about it?" "Everything. Noah getting attached to the idea of you being his stepdad, you realizing what you'd be signing up for with a 5-year-old, me trusting that this is real and lasting." Evan set down his tea and turned to face her. "Maya, can I tell you something?" "Always. 3 months ago, I thought I'd spend the rest of my life alone. Not by choice, just because I couldn't figure out how to let people close enough to matter. And now? Now I can't imagine my life without you and Noah in it. I don't want to imagine it." Maya felt tears welling up. "Evan, I'm not asking you to marry me tonight. I'm just asking you to believe that this is real for me, that you and Noah aren't some experiment or phase I'm going through." "How do I know for sure?" Evan reached for her hand, and Maya let him take it. His palm was warm and steady against hers. "Because I'm here. Because I keep showing up. Because when Noah asked me about being his stepdad, my first thought wasn't panic. It was how lucky I'd be to have him call me dad." Maya looked at their joined hands. "And when he asked about marriage? My first thought was how lucky I'd be to call you my wife." Maya's breath caught. "Evan, someday, Maya, when you're ready, when Noah's ready, when it feels right for all of us. But someday." Maya looked at this man who'd learned to trust her with his deepest fears, who'd won over her ex-husband and her 5-year-old son, who'd shown up consistently and honestly, even when things got complicated. "Someday sounds perfect," she whispered. Evan smiled and brought their joined hands to his lips. pressing a gentle kiss to her knuckles. For the first time in years, Maya felt like she was exactly where she belonged. Monday morning brought an unexpected phone call to Maya's work line. "Maya Ellis? This is Dr. Richardson from Heart Technologies." Maya's stomach dropped. "Dr. Richardson, hello. I hope you don't mind me calling you at work. Evan gave me your number, said it would be okay to reach out directly. Is everything all right?" "Oh yes, everything's fine. I was calling about the Children's Hospital fundraiser next month. The board has decided to make it our primary charity event this year, and we're looking for someone to help coordinate with the hospital staff." Maya was confused. "I'm sorry, I don't understand. Evan suggested you might be interested in helping with the coordination. You know the hospital, you understand how things work there, and you have experience with fundraising events." "I do." Dr. Richardson chuckled. "Well, Evan says you do. He mentioned you've organized several successful events for your son's school." Maya thought about the spring carnival she'd helped plan and the book fair she'd coordinated. Hardly major fundraising experience, but she had learned a lot about logistics and volunteer management. "Dr. Richardson, can I ask why you're offering this to me?" "Honestly, because Evan speaks very highly of your organizational skills and your understanding of what the hospital needs, but also because we think it would be good to have someone involved who genuinely cares about the mission, not just the tax benefits." Maya felt a flutter of excitement. Working on a major fundraiser would be a challenge, but it would also be an opportunity to do something meaningful for the pediatric ward, where she'd spent so many hours when Noah was younger. What would the position involve? Part-time coordination, mostly evenings and weekends. Working with our event planning committee, liaising with hospital administration, managing volunteer recruitment. The pay is competitive, and it could lead to a permanent position in our community outreach department if things go well. Maya's heart raced. A better job, meaningful work, and a chance to contribute to something important. "I'm very interested," she said. "When would this start?" "Next week, if you're available. Can you come in Thursday afternoon to meet with the committee?" After Maya hung up, she sat at her desk in a daze. A new job opportunity had just fallen into her lap, and she was pretty sure Evan had orchestrated the whole thing. Her phone buzzed with a text from him. "How was your morning?" Maya typed back, "Interesting. Dr. Richardson called me." Evan, "Good, interesting, or bad interesting?" Maya, "We need to talk tonight, after Noah's in bed." Evan, "Should I be worried?" Maya, "No, but we need to discuss boundaries around job offers and professional opportunities." There was a long pause before Evan responded, "I may have overstepped. I'll explain tonight." That evening, after Noah was asleep, Evan came over with takeout and an apologetic expression. "Before you say anything," he began, "I want you to know that I didn't create this opportunity for you. It's a real position that the board was going to fill with someone." Maya sat across from him at her kitchen table. "But you recommended me. I mentioned that you might be qualified. Dr. Richardson made his own decision to call you. Evan, I appreciate the thought, but I can't accept a job just because I'm dating you. What if you're genuinely qualified for it?" "Am I?" Evan pulled out a folder from his bag. "This is the job description. Read it and tell me what you think." Maya read through the requirements. Event coordination experience, customer service skills, attention to detail, ability to work with volunteers, knowledge of hospital operations, and flexibility with scheduling. "I do meet most of these qualifications," she admitted. "You meet all of them. Maya, you've organized 3 major events for Noah's school in the past year. You work with difficult customers and complex scheduling every day. You know how the hospital works better than anyone on our board. But people will think what they want to think regardless. The question is, do you want this job?" Maya looked at the job description again. Better pay, more interesting work, and a chance to do something that would directly benefit sick children. "I do want it," she said finally, "but I need to know that I'm being hired for my qualifications, not because I'm your girlfriend." "Fair enough. What if you interview with the full committee? 6 people, including Dr. Richardson. If they don't think you're qualified, they won't hire you, and you'll stay out of the decision completely. I'll recuse myself from any discussion about your application." Maya thought about it. An interview with the full committee would ensure the decision was based on merit, and if she didn't get the job, at least she'd know she'd tried. "Okay," she said. "I'll interview for it." "Really? Really? But Evan?" "Yeah? In the future, can you talk to me before recommending me for jobs, even if they're perfect for me?" Evan looked sheepish. I should have done that this time. I was just excited about the opportunity and thought you'd be perfect for it. I might be perfect for it, but I want to earn it on my own merit. You will, Maya. You're going to blow them away in that interview. Maya felt a warm glow of confidence. You really think so? I know so. You're smart, organized, compassionate, and you understand both sides of this fundraiser, the business side and the human side. They'd be lucky to have you. Maya reached across the table and took Evan's hand. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for letting me. As they finished their dinner and talked about Maya's plans for the interview, Maya felt something shift inside her. For the first time in years, she was thinking about her career as something more than just a way to pay the bills. She was thinking about it as a path toward the life she actually wanted to build. Thursday's interview went better than Maya had hoped. The committee asked thoughtful questions about her experience and listened carefully to her ideas for improving volunteer recruitment and donor engagement. Dr. Richardson walked her out afterward. Maya, I have to ask, are you prepared for the scrutiny that comes with working for Heart Technologies, given your relationship with Evan? I've already experienced some of that scrutiny, Dr. Richardson. If anything, it's made me more determined to prove that I belong here based on my qualifications. Good answer. We'll be in touch by early next week. Friday afternoon, Maya was scheduling patient appointments when her supervisor approached her desk. Maya, Dr. Richardson is on line 3 for you. Maya's heart pounded as she picked up the phone. Maya, congratulations. The committee was unanimous. We'd love to have you join our team. Maya felt tears of joy spring to her eyes. Really? Really? Can you start Monday? I know it's short notice, but we're eager to get moving on this fundraiser. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. After she hung up, Maya sat at her desk for a moment, overwhelmed with gratitude and excitement. She'd gotten the job on her own merit. She'd be doing work that mattered, with people who respected her abilities. Her phone buzzed with a text from Evan. Any news? Maya typed back, I got it. Evan, I knew you would. Congratulations. Maya, thank you for believing in me and for staying out of the decision. Evan, easy to do when the outcome was never in doubt. Dinner tonight to celebrate? All 3 of us? Maya, perfect. Saturday morning, Maya woke up feeling lighter than she had in years. New job, stable relationship, happy child for the first time. All the pieces of her life seemed to be falling into place. She was making pancakes when Noah shuffled into the kitchen in his dinosaur pajamas, carrying Rex. Mama, is Mr. Hart coming over today? Later this afternoon. Why? I want to show him my science project for school. What's your science project about? Families. We have to draw our family and write about what makes families special. Maya felt a flutter of nervousness. What did you draw? Noah ran to his backpack and pulled out a large piece of construction paper. In crayon, he'd drawn 4 stick figures, a woman with curly hair labeled Mama, a man in a suit labeled Mr. Hart, a small boy labeled Me, and an even smaller figure labeled Rex. Noah, honey. Mrs. Martinez said families are people who love each other and take care of each other. Mr. Hart loves us and takes care of us, so he's family. Maya stared at the drawing. In Noah's 5-year-old logic, it was that simple. What did you write about what makes families special? Noah pointed to his careful kindergarten handwriting at the bottom of the page. Families are special because they love you, even when you make mistakes, and they help you when you're scared, and they teach you important things, and they make you feel safe. Maya felt tears threatening. That's beautiful, baby. Do you think Mr. Hart will like it? I think he'll love it. That afternoon, when Evan arrived with groceries for their planned cooking session, Noah immediately ran to show him the science project. Maya watched Evan's face carefully as he read Noah's definition of family. His expression grew soft, then emotional, then quietly joyful. This is the best science project I've ever seen, Evan said seriously. Can I hang this on my refrigerator? You want to keep it? I want to keep it forever. Is that okay with you? Noah beamed. Yes. And Mr. Hart? What, buddy? Are you going to marry my mama? Maya nearly dropped the tomatoes she'd been washing. Evan knelt down to Noah's eye level. Would you like me to marry your mama? Yes. Then we'd be a real family like in my picture. We're already a real family, Noah. Marriage is just a way to make it official. So you are going to marry her? Evan glanced at Maya, who was frozen at the kitchen sink. If your mama wants me to, and if you're okay with it, then someday I'd like to marry her very much. I'm okay with it. Mama, are you okay with it? Maya looked at Noah's eager face, then at Evan's hopeful one. 6 months ago, she would have been terrified by this conversation. Now, she felt only peace. "I'm okay with it," she said softly. "Really?" Evan stood up slowly. "Really?" Noah cheered and ran around the kitchen. "We're going to be a real family. Can I tell Sophie at school?" "You can tell Sophie," Maya said, laughing. "But remember that grown-ups take a long time to plan weddings, so it won't happen right away." "How long?" Maya looked at Evan. "How long do you think, Mr. Hart?" Evan smiled. "Long enough to do it right, but not so long that we get tired of waiting." 6 months? Noah asked. "Maybe a little longer than that," Maya said. "A year?" "Maybe," Evan said. "We'll see." As they cooked dinner together, Noah on tomato duty, Evan handling the pasta, Maya managing the sauce, Maya felt a deep sense of rightness about everything. This wasn't how she'd planned her life, but it was exactly how she wanted it to be. Her phone buzzed with a text from Tom. "Noah told me you're engaged. Congratulations." Maya showed the text to Evan. "We're not actually engaged yet," she said. "Yet," Evan repeated with a smile. "Yet." That night, after Noah was asleep and Evan had gone home, Maya called Janelle. "Girl, please tell me you didn't get engaged without calling me first," Janelle said before Maya could even say hello. "We're not engaged. Yet. But it's heading in that direction. And how do you feel about that?" Maya thought for a moment. "Happy, terrified, hopeful, grateful. That's a lot of feelings. It's a lot of change. But good change, I think." "I think so too, Maya. I owe you an apology." "For what?" "For being so negative about Evan in the beginning. For assuming he'd hurt you and Noah. You were protecting us. I understand that. I was also wrong. That man loves you, and Noah completely. Anyone with eyes can see it." Maya smiled. "He does, and you love him too." "I do." "Then I'm happy for you. Really happy." After Maya hung up, she sat in her living room looking at Noah's family picture, now magneted to her refrigerator next to his other artwork. In crayon and construction paper, her 5-year-old had captured something that had taken her months to fully understand. They were already a family. Marriage would just make it official, and for the first time in her adult life, Maya was ready for official. 6 months later, on a warm Saturday morning in the community park, where they'd spent so many afternoons together, Evan got down on one knee in front of Maya and Noah. The ring was simple and beautiful, a single diamond on a platinum band, but Maya barely noticed it because she was looking at Evan's face, which was full of joy and love and certainty. "Maya Ellis, will you marry me? Will you let me be Noah's stepdad? Will you let us be the family we've already become?" "Yes," Maya said, laughing through happy tears. "Yes to all of it." As Evan slipped the ring onto her finger, Noah threw his arms around both of them. "Now we're officially a family," he announced to the entire park. Maya looked at her son, then at her fiancé, then at the park where it had all started, with a runaway shopping cart and a small boy's hug. Sometimes the best families weren't the ones you planned for. Sometimes they were the ones that chose you back. The end.